Let's talk about something huge that's happening right under our noses. We all talk about climate change, right? Rising temperatures, melting ice caps. But what if I told you it's doing way more than that? It's literally redrawing the world map, and it's sparking a brand new global scramble for land. We're going to explore how the very ground we stand on is shifting and what that really means for all of us. So let me just ask you this right off the bat. We tend to think of the world map as, well, fixed. The borders, the coastlines, where people can live, we think of it as permanent. But what if it's not? What if it's all in flux? You see, for the better part of a century, we've all been playing on the same geopolitical chessboard. The board itself didn't change. But that whole assumption, it's melting away, literally. For the first time in modern history, the game board itself is changing. And that means all the rules are about to change with it. Okay, so let's dive into our first big idea here. You might be thinking, come on, it's the 21st century. We have the internet, crypto, the cloud. Who cares about physical land anymore? Well, the truth is, territory, actual dirt and rock, is becoming more important than it's been in a very, very long time. And this quote from Professor Hoax just nails it. The last 70 years or so, this period of relative peace over territory, that was the exception, not the rule. It was an anomaly. Humanity's default setting, our natural pattern throughout all of history, has been the search for more land. And that pattern is coming back with a vengeance. And listen, this isn't some far-off theory for the future. It's happening right now, as we speak. I mean, look at Russia's invasion of Ukraine. That's a raw, old-school grab for territory. Or the conflict flaring up again between Azerbaijan and Armenia. Or China's nonstop pressure on Taiwan. At their core, these are all fights over land. The scramble has already started. So what's the spark? What's the giant catalyst for all of this? It's climate change. But we have to stop thinking about it as just an environmental problem. It's a geopolitical force of nature. It's a great thaw that is fundamentally changing the strategic value of huge chunks of our planet. And honestly, there is no better poster child for this than Greenland. For centuries, what was Greenland? It was this massive, frozen, forgotten wasteland on the edge of the map, basically an afterthought. Well, now, it's becoming one of the most valuable and contested pieces of real estate on the entire planet. I mean, just look at this transformation. The Greenland of the past, right? Inhospitable, frozen solid, impossible to get to, economically totally isolated. But the Greenland of the future? We're talking about a treasure chest of resources, a central hub for brand new shipping routes, and, get this, potentially a new breadbasket for the world. It's a complete 180. And we are not talking about small potatoes here. As that ice melts, it's uncovering absolutely massive deposits of uranium, rare earth elements, the stuff that powers all our tech, oil, gas, iron ore, the list goes on. There are even projections that by 2100, Greenland could have huge forests and a thriving agricultural sector. This is a total reinvention of a country's geography. And here's the thing, Greenland isn't just some one-off case. What's happening there is a sign of a much, much bigger shift that's taking place all across the global north. This isn't just about one island. This is about the dawn of a new global hierarchy, the rise of a whole new set of climate superpowers. So here's the crucial idea you've got to grasp. The best climate for civilization, for growing food, for building things, has always been in those temperate zones. But as the planet warms up, that ideal band of climate is literally moving north. The places that used to be frigid and unforgiving are becoming the new global sweet spot. And when you look at a map of that new sweet spot, man, two countries just completely dominate the landscape. Because of their geography and their sheer size, Canada and Russia are positioned to win big, bigger than anyone else on Earth from this massive climate shift. All right, brace yourself for this next number because it's absolutely mind-blowing. By the year 2080, it's projected that Canada could gain 4.1 million square kilometers of new, farmable land. Now, to put that into perspective for you, that is an area of land larger than the entire country of India. Think about that. It's a change on a civilization-defining scale. But for every winner in this new climate game, there are going to be losers. While the North is thawing out and opening up, other parts of the world are getting hammered by drought, rising sea levels, and just unbearable heat. And for those nations, this isn't a scramble for opportunity. It's a scramble for pure survival. And this table, it lays out the central conflict of the 21st century perfectly.
On one side, you have Russia, a gigantic country with a relatively small population that's about to inherit enormous new tracts of livable land. And on the other side, you've got China, a massive population on a territory that's actually shrinking, losing precious farmland to both deserts and the ocean. That imbalance creates an almost inevitable collision course right over Siberia.
And that right there gets us to the most critical point. When a country with 1.4 billion people starts running out of land to grow food, going after new territory stops being about ambition. It stops being a choice. It becomes a matter of fundamental national security. It's not a want, it's a need. So you see what's happening, right? You take the rise of these new climate winners who suddenly have all this empty, valuable land, and you combine it with the sheer desperation of powerful nations who are losing their own ground, and what you get is a perfect recipe for a new age of conquest. So let's look at the flashpoints. So where are we going to see these fights pop up? Well, you've got to start watching places we used to ignore. Places like the Faroe Islands, which are suddenly sitting on a hugely strategic new shipping lane, or the Falkland Islands, which are becoming the front door to all the resources of the Southern Ocean. And of course, the entire Arctic itself, which is set to become the new center of the universe for global shipping and resources.
But all of those hotspots, they're just the opening act. They all pale in comparison to the main event, the ultimate prize. Because as our world keeps warming, the biggest land grab in all of human history is going to be for the last unclaimed continent on Earth. And the question is going to be, who gets it?
Yeah, we're talking about Antarctica, a continent that's currently governed by an international treaty, a treaty that's already starting to look pretty shaky. It has no sovereign owner, and it's sitting on what could be the largest reserve of untapped resources left on the planet. As that ice melts, the race for Antarctica isn't just going to be another conflict. It will be the defining geopolitical event of this new world. The only question left is, are any of us ready for it?